Today's lecture is very important, right? Because the most of the engineering materials are made up of steels, basically, right? Everywhere steel is there. Everywhere. This roof is also made up of steel. Not only steel, it is made up of concrete and steel structure, right? And these bars are steels, right? The bench you are sitting, those are also steel and wood. Wood is, this is a composite, basically. But steel is steel. So we cannot imagine a beautiful world without steel, right? We have 1,000 number of grade of steels are there. Just by changing the composition, we can get a new steel out of that. Because if you understand, if you change the composition, you can get different property, and you can change also the phase, right? So you can get a different kind of steel, which is for a particular purpose. See, carbon is C and cementate is Fe3C. Three atoms of iron, one atom of carbon. It is only carbon. This means 100% carbon, right? But this is not 100%. You can calculate how much percent, right? You can calculate how much carbon is there. Atomic weight of iron into 3 plus carbon atomic weight. Like that, you can calculate the amount of carbon, right? Anyway, so the point is what? Only see, this is phase diagram, so that means I have temperature axis, and temperature will be always in degree centigrade, right? And this will be your composition axis, but this will take weight percentage. So I am taking weight percentage of carbon, right? So iron carbon diagram, iron cemented pedestal phase diagram is temperature versus weight percentage of carbon. Is okay? But now the question is, this one is not correct exactly. You can say, but this one is not exactly correct, because this will be correct if you take carbon over here 100%. Right? This will be 100% iron. Right? So I am writing iron, and here I am writing carbon. If I am writing iron and carbon, then this is okay. This iron carbon phase diagram. But we never write carbon here. Right? We write FeBC at the other end. You understand my point now? So is it correct to say iron carbon? No, it is. You can say, no problem, that is also fine. But it is better to call iron cemented metastable phase diagram, because in one end I have iron, in another I have cemented, not carbon. It is okay? And so that means obviously, since this is the weight percentage of carbon axis, so there will be a carbon amount, right? So it will be it is okay now? 6.67 weight percentage of carbon is present. So I am increasing the amount of carbon and up to how much? The end one is 6.67, not 100% carbon. But this is 100% iron, but 0% carbon. It is okay now? Up to this it is fine. If you have any confusion, you can ask me. You can interrupt me, no problem. And now the question is, what is metastable? It is not I am saying iron cemented. I am saying iron cemented metastable phase. So what is the meaning of metastable? Already it has gone through the thermodynamics, a lot of things. What is the meaning of metastable? You can have a stable phase, you can have a metastable phase, you can have an unstable phase. Three things are important, listen carefully. Stable, metastable and unstable. If a phase is unstable, it will never remain. It will automatically transform into a stable phase at the end. You understand my point? Like already you have seen, liquid is transformed into solid. In what condition? If you are decreasing the temperature. Solidification, already you have seen now. Below Tm, liquid becomes solid. Because if you bring the liquid below Tm, it will become completely unstable. It cannot stay. Right? You understand my point? Similarly, stable phase means which will stay. Right? But what is the metastable? So in between, metastable phase is the phase which is in between stable and unstable. So metastable phase exactly means it will stay, but not for a long period of time. It may decompose into a stable phase at the end. Again, let me say, metastable phase is it should not a stable phase, not a unstable phase. It is in between, right? And this phase may not stay for long period of time. It may decompose into a stable phase at the end. Suppose you have a piece of iron, and in that piece of if you have a piece of steel, in that piece of steel you have cement. But if you take that steel to somewhat higher temperature and you keep it for suppose 100 days or maybe not 100 days exactly, suppose 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the cement, you will not get cemented. You will end up with what? Iron and carbon again. Carbon will come out from the iron and it will become iron and carbon. You understand the point? That means cemented is not staying for long period of time, maybe 100 years, maybe 200 years. It is taking some time, but it is not stable. So that's why it will again decompose into a stable. Iron is stable and carbon is stable. So it will decompose into iron and carbon. But not for a small interval. Like 20 years, it may not remain. Right? And temperature is also important. If you keep temperature low, it will not decompose. But if you keep some intermediate temperature, it may decompose. It is okay now? So that's why it is, that means cemented is a which kind of phase? Metastable phase. You understand the point? But here stable phase is what? Iron and carbon. But metastable phase is cemented. I think that up to this it is fine. So now the question will be, obviously the question will be, in every phase diagram, we always choose 100% in the one end, 100% in the other end, right? But here, why we are not choosing 100% carbon? Can anybody tell me? Because it is no, carbon is stable. My point is, why I am not going to 100% carbon? Here.
Sir, we need only maximum of 4% carbon for steel formation.
No, the answer is no. Okay, you tried it, that's fine.
Yes, very much. So it would decrease.
Anybody? Yeah. Okay, very good. So you are near to the answer, but not exactly. Anyway, so thing is what? What is the name? I told each phase have a particular nature, right? Someone is very soft, someone is hard, someone is brittle, right? So the interesting point is Fe3C is a brittle phase. If the amount of Fe3C will increase in the steel, if you have it will break into pieces. Or if you put it into some application, there it may fail. So it is very critical, right? So you always try to keep Fe3C in a less zone. If it will be there, or I will tell about the many things, some structures. Anyways, so Fe3C is a very brittle phase. There will be no deformation. You cannot deform Fe3C. It will break. It is okay, right? So that's why what I mean to say is, I can increase the amount of carbon and carbon and carbon, and I will reach a point where we have 100% Fe3C. This is the 100% Fe3C, right? You can write this is 100% Fe3C, right? So that means if you increase the amount of carbon further above 6.67, what will happen? More Fe3C will form, maybe. It is 100% Fe3C anyway. That means the steel or the alloy which forms, not exactly steel, the alloy. It is an alloy system, right? System of iron and carbon. The alloy becomes more brittle and more brittle. There will be no application at all. If something is breaking easily, then there is no application of that particular alloy, right? So final answer is what? We are taking up to 6.67 because if we increase the amount of carbon further, the alloy becomes completely brittle, completely. There will be no ductility at all. Or some may confuse between strength and brittleness. Can anybody tell me in a normal way? Brittleness and strength. If a metal is brittle, what happens to strength? It will decrease obviously because it is getting failed. It will break. How it can maintain the strength? Right? It is, you should understand. If something is brittle, like chalk. If I will throw it and it will fall, it will break into pieces. So it is a brittle material. Because this is ceramic. If you remember the property of ceramics are brittle. Why we are not using ceramics? Because of this nature. Because it is a brittle material. Alright. It can only withstand compressive load. But tensile load it cannot withstand. It will break. Anyways, so this answer is being up. Why 6.67? Because above that, material alloy becomes completely brittle. There is no practical application. That is the answer. there is no practical application of that alloy because of high brittleness. Okay, anyway, now we'll show temperature and composition. And I told you once earlier in the class, iron is very interesting. Why? Because it shows allotropic transformations. At different temperature, it shows different modifications, different structures. Very good. What are the different structures we have? Pure iron, BCC, FCC, FCP. Very good. But iron carbon phase diagram, we consider 1 atmospheric pressure on this. The variable is only temperature and composition, not pressure. Pressure is fixed, 1 atmospheric pressure. So what will happen? FCP structure will not come out, obviously. Because FCP structure will come out when pressure is very high. It is okay now? Fine. So now I will show you temperature and composition. So to show that, it is better to draw the diagram first, then you can write the temperature and write the composition. Right? Because you are not doing accurate diagram, right? So, okay. And next one is how easily you can draw a diagram. You will not find that in book. I'll tell you how easily you can draw this diagram. You start from the bottom of this. Just have a look. You start from the bottom like this. Okay. Start from the bottom like this one, and you move like this. This is the first point. Second point will be you start from here and you go straight. Done. Very easy. And next step will be this. This is the first. Next step will be what? You start from here and you go to a point up to this. Is it okay? From here you start. You go like this and you move straight. Okay. Again I say you start from here. You go like this. Then you move in this direction, horizontal. Then you start from this point, you go to this, and then here. So bottom part is done. Now top part. Top part is somewhat critical. Many people do many mistakes in the top part. So how it will be? Again, triangle kind of thing will be. Then you draw a line like this. Is it okay? I start with this, then I draw a horizontal line. Then now you touch this one with here. Then you touch this one at here. So many people do mistakes in this part. It is okay now? Then I have this one point. So I will do what? I will go and touch here. And I will move there. Okay? And I have a point over here. This middle point. This will just come and touch. Now done. This simple way to draw iron calculation. Very simple. Again I say you start from here to this point, one triangle, then you draw a line, you touch this one with here and touch this one at the middle. Then you join this one at this point and move like this. And this point you join. So done, right? So this is done. Now I would like to show you different temperatures. See, what are the different temperatures? One, this will be one temperature obviously. And this will be one temperature. This will be one temperature. But there is no other temperature here because this is touching the bottom completely, right? So, suppose I'll start from, if you remember how a phase diagram is drawn. You have to take a liquid first. That means iron carbon liquid will be there, molten state, and you have to cool it slowly. That's why it becomes equilibrium phase diagram, right? That's why some people call iron carbon equilibrium phase diagram. Is it okay? So when you cool it, what will happen? First liquid will become solid. That is the first transformation will happen, right? And the transformation will start where iron solid will show different crystal structures. That is solid state transformation. Two things are happening. Again I am saying, first liquid will transform into solid, right? Then solid is transforming into different solids. Different solids means different solid have different crystal structures, which iron is showing. But here carbon is also there. So that is again interesting, right? So now that means above this point everything is liquid. So above this point everything is liquid. So what I should write? This is liquid. And if you remember this curve is called what? Liquid as well. Very good. Above that everything is liquid. Right? Above this curve, everything is liquid. So liquid is curve. This liquid is boundary. So now this is how much? That means this is the melting point of pure iron. Now this is the pure 100% iron. Melting point of pure iron will be here. Anybody remember?
1300,
19.
1300,
You can write 15, 37, 36, 35. In the different textbook, different values will be given. Some people call 1538, some people call 1537, some people are saying 1536. So you can check from the internet also what exactly it is. So I am writing 1537 or degree centigrade. You can check it in the internet what is given. So different people are saying different. Some people call 1539 also. But you should fix it. From the standard textbook, you can fix this one. Then next one is this one. This is 1395 or 96. 1395 or how much it is given? 15?
38.
38. Okay. 15 you can, as I told, 1539 to 1536 you can keep any of the temperature. 126. Okay. So this is 1395, this point. And this one is 910. Yes? So these are the three important temperatures I have written. Right? So that means above 1537 everything is liquid, but below 1537 I have solids only. But they have different structures. But now I have also, just have a look, I have also horizontal lines. This is one horizontal line, this is another horizontal line, and this is one horizontal line. That means something is going on in this horizontal line, if you remember. What are the things? Invariant reactions, very good. Some reactions is happening. So that means you have to know, if you remember, invariant means there will be no variations in the thermodynamic variables. Right? The temperature will be fixed and composition will be fixed. Right? So that means a particular temperature is there in the three lines. So in this line you have a particular temperature. In this line you will be showing some particular temperature. In this line you have to show a particular temperature. So I am like, whether I should do what? I should show this one over here in this direction because this is also temperature. Yes. So this will be 1496 or 1495 degrees centigrade, and this reaction is happening, that is 1146 or 47 degrees centigrade or 45, and this one is 723 degrees centigrade, or some people write 727. Any of these you can write. So these are the three different temperatures. If you want, you can write it over here, no problem. You can make a dot line and show the temperature. You should not draw a solid line, then there will be a mistake. Okay, anyway, this is clear. Now temperatures are fixed. Now I will show you the composition. So first of all, you have to find out the points. So this is one first point. Okay. This is the second point. Otherwise, you can write 0.76. And this point 2.1. And this will be 4.3. Okay. And this point is how much? Okay, I am writing over here 3 points. So this point is 0.1. This is I am writing 0.2, and this point is 0.5. 5 or 5. Okay, correct. All the composition I have shown, and this one is 6.67. You touch any of these points, all are 6.67. If I write here 6.67, I can write here 6.67. Here also I can write 6.67. Right? You understand the point? Huh? So temperature is shown, composition is shown. Now I will write what are the different phases. Because phase diagram means at different temperature and different composition, I have different phases in equilibrium. Right? So I will start with, already this is liquid, and this one will be delta. If you remember, the phase always represent in Greek alphabets, like L, delta, alpha, gamma, right? So this is delta. So that means, and the biggest reason is which one? Forget about liquid. The biggest solid reason is which one? This one, the biggest solid, that is gamma. Right. And this one is alpha. Right. And okay. So now I have combination of phase now. See, this is the individual phase, this is the individual phase. This is the individual phase. This is the individual phase. But now other phases are combined, mixture of phase. So since this is liquid, so this is delta. So this will be
Delta plus liquid.
liquid plus delta. This is, you understand what? This is gamma. This is delta. So this result will be
Gamma plus delta.
delta plus gamma or gamma plus whatever you write. That is fine. Okay. And now what will be this? This is gamma. This is liquid. So this is liquid plus gamma. Right? And okay. So now here I write. This is gamma. This is alpha. So this will be gamma plus alpha plus gamma. Whatever you write. And the interesting point is this end is 100% FE3C. So this is FE3C is also a phase. Okay? Because I told you phase may be okay, fine. Anyway, so this is a phase. So if this is FE3C, this is liquid. So this will be fine. Done? So this is gamma and this side is FE3C. So this will be
Gamma plus liquid.
very good. So this is alpha and this side is Fe3C. So this will be
Alpha plus liquid.
it's very easy way to remember this thing. Right? Because this side is always Fe3C. So you have individual phases, you have mixture of phases. Okay? This is done up to this. So this is the way to draw a phase diagram and show temperature and composition. Yes. Why there is no beta phase? Okay. Because I am not sure if you draw the diagram above 6.67, maybe some new phase will come out. But we are not interested in that. Why? Because there is no application of that particular alloy. Maybe you can try for that. That is a very good question actually. You can try to make an alloy of suppose 12% carbon in iron. You can get some different phase, maybe. I am also not sure about what phase will come out. You will not also find in textbook, right? The point is, above this percentage of carbon, there is no application of that particular error. So why we are dealing with those errors? We should not deal with that. That is a waste of time. But you can try it, no problem. Maybe some interesting phase will come out that may have some significance, maybe. Okay, so this alpha phase means what? Can anybody tell me what exactly it means? This alpha phase means? It's a single phase result, but what it means exactly? The carbon you have added is completely getting soluble into the iron. That's why it is forming a single phase now. Two components, iron and carbon. Sorry, iron and carbon. So the amount of carbon you have added is completely soluble. You cannot find where carbon is. It has become soluble. It has become a single phase. Similarly, gamma means what? Same thing. The carbon you have added get completely soluble. You have only a gamma, right? Okay, I should write the names better over here. So delta means what? Delta means this is called ferrite, or this is called delta ferrite. Delta type. And gamma means what?
Austenite.
Austenite. They have name. And alpha means this is called only ferrite, or some people call alpha ferrite. Okay, so these are the points. And it is liquid. And what are the other things we have? Liquid plus acidity. So this is not, we are not interested in that. We are interested in what? Gamma. This is solid, this is solid. This is solid and this is solid. So gamma plus Fe3C. It has a name. What is that name? Anybody remember? Gamma plus Fe3C. That means I have austenite and I have cemented both together. So it is called
Ladybird.
ladybird. And alpha plus I have also alpha plus ATP. Ferrite plus cementite. This is for you know the answer. Perlite. Okay, so these are the things you have to remember. These two are mixture of phase. So you should not be confused. Somebody will ask what is a ladybirite. What you should tell? You should tell it is a mixture of phase. It is not a phase. Because two different phases are present. And you should write it is called gamma plus FeCl. And then some people ask what is perlite. So what should be? You should tell it is not a phase. If you are saying phase, it is completely wrong. You should tell it is a mixture of phases. A mixture of what? Alpha and FeCl. Fine. So these are the points that people make mistake in the interviews. Anyways, so these are the things. Then now, if you carefully look at the structures, delta is BCC, right? And gamma is, and this one is. So this is very interesting. So this alloy is remaining at a very high temperature in BCC form, but when you lower down the temperature, it becomes FCC. Again, when you lower down, again it becomes BCC. What may be the reason? Reason is free energy concept again, right? Again, this is the free energy concept is coming into play, right? Where the free energy will be lower, that phase will come out, that phase will remain, right? Anyway, we will not discuss that. But okay, I would like to tell you about the definition. So, what is delta ferrite? If it is a pure iron, that is okay. It is 100% iron. But here I have carbon also. So, what may be the definition of delta ferrite? Both are solid. I am giving you hint. Delta is also a single phase. And I have iron and carbon both. And in solid, three things I am saying. Again, I am saying both things are there, iron and carbon is there, but it is a single phase and both are in solid. So it will form a what? Solution, obviously. It will form a solution, but this solution is a solid. So it is a solid solution. This is the way to remember. Right? So delta ferrite is nothing but it is a solid solution of what? Carbon in iron. Right? So delta ferrite is a solid solution of carbon in iron. But you should not say only iron. You should say what iron? BCC iron. Iron is in form of BCC. Body centered cubic structure. Because delta is a BCC phase. It is having a body centered cubic crystal structure. Right? And similarly, what is gamma? Can you tell me? Gamma is also a single phase, and iron and carbon both are there, and they are a solid also. So it is again a solid solution. Very good. It is a solid solution of carbon in FCC iron. Very good. Right? It is a solid solution of carbon in FCC iron. Because iron is in face-centered cubic structure, and carbon is insoluble in iron only, and it is a solid. It is a solid solution. Right? Similarly, now the confusion is alpha. Alpha is again a single phase. Iron and carbon both are present and are in solid. So it is again a solid solution. So it is a solid solution of carbon in BCC iron again. So now the question will be different. So this is also BCC. This is also BCC. How to distinguish them? First one is high temperature form. Bottom one is low temperature form. That way, yeah. If you are saying delta ferrite, that means that is a high temperature BCC structure. If you are saying alpha ferrite, that means it is a low temperature BCC structure. That is the difference. And another difference, can anybody tell me what is the other difference? Just have a look at the iron carbon diagram and just see the composition. Very good. Solubility. Just have a look. Delta ferrite is having a low carbon or high carbon. Just take the points. Point 1. This is point 1. Or how much? This is point 1. And this is 0.025. Which one is higher? Delta ferrite has higher amount of carbon. Why? Simple concept. Just look at the temperature. Temperature is getting high, so more solubility will be there. It's a very simple concept. Because when you heat a solid, expansion will be there. Expansion means what? Atoms will displace from one another. The equilibrium distance will increase. So what will happen? More space will be available. So more carbon can go into the voids or the sides. So more solubility. When you decrease the temperature, what will happen? Atom will come closer. Space availability will be less. So less carbon will go. These are the simple concepts, right? So solubility of carbon in delta ferrite is more compared to the alpha ferrite. And delta ferrite is high temperature BCC form, alpha ferrite is a low temperature BCC form. So, for example, if I will give a question, suppose for example I will give a piece of normal carbon steel. So ये कौन सा फॉर्म है? BCC फॉर्म में ही होगा क्योंकि रूम टेम्परेचर है. Just have a look. इसके नीचे पूरा अल्फा ही है, right? Kind of. Right? So you will get a alpha basically, not delta. हाँ.
सर दोनों स्ट्रक्चर का स्ट्रेंथ भी सेम नहीं होना चाहिए पर इसमें ज़्यादा
Strength will again depends upon the amount of carbon.
ये सर तो उसमें ज़्यादा कार्बन के मतलब इसमें ज़्यादा है उसमें ज़्यादा कार्बन है इसमें कम कार्बन है तो वो दोनों पीसीसी स्ट्रक्चर ठीक है
हाँ.
बट डिफरेंट होंगे ना.
Carbon different है तो property भी different आएगा. Right. And another interesting point is also high. If you move to the higher temperature, ductility also increases. Strength decreases. कोई भी मेटल को अगर हाई टेम्परेचर में लेके स्ट्रेंथ मेजर करोगे तो कम हो जाएगा. राइट. या क्यों आ रहा है एक्चुअली? These are some controversial questions, but the answer is, I mean, is very interesting. Very interesting because there is some magnetic transformation is going on due to change in magnetic property of iron. Iron is basically iron is a ferromagnetic material, right? It is strongly attracted by the magnets. Iron, cobalt, and nickel. These are the three elements which are very strongly attracted to the magnet. इसमें जो permanent magnet बनाते हैं हम लोग, right? Those are made of this iron, cobalt, and nickel only, right? And there are other new combinations are also there. So these are the three elements which are completely ferromagnetic. They get strongly attracted. So this phase, alpha, gamma, and delta, this phase have also different magnetic property. I'll say that. So due to this magnetic transition, see, एक तो तुम्हारा phase transformation हो रहा है, क्योंकि structure change हो रहा है, ना? Phase transformation means change in crystal structure in solid state, right? But with change in structure also, the magnetic property is also getting changed. So that's why this, due to this combination of magnetic property and temperature, again BCC is coming out. Right? तुम्हारा जो free energy है ना, free energy do not depends upon only temperature, not only on the composition, it also depend upon magnetic property also. तो ये तुम्हारा जो orbital concepts है, I will not go into the physics. हाँ, ये बहुत बड़ा डीप चीज है, राइट? इफ यू गो इनटू द फिजिक्स पार्ट, फिर तुम्हें एटम्स कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा, फिर नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा, फिर स्पिन, यू हैव टू चेक द स्पिन, सी यू रिमेंबर द स्पिन, उसमें स्पिन होता है, राइट? कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन इस डायरेक्शन में होगा, कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन इस डायरेक्शन में होगा, ठीक है? सो वो सब कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा, विल नॉट गो इनटू दैट पार्ट. दिस इज फिजिकल मेथड्स, राइट? एनीवे, सो नाउ okay, fine. So the question will be somebody can ask what is Fe3? What should be? Fe3 is a compound. It is not a, it is a compound actually, right? So this is a cemented, this is a compound, and the nature is very brittle, right? And if somebody will ask what is the structure of this, like this is BCC, this is FCC, this is BCC. What is the structure of Fe3? Very complicated structure. Orthorhombic is a very complicated structure. That's why it is not ductile. It is brittle phase. But BCC and FCC are simple structures. We have seen already, right? Anybody remember the lattice parameters of orthorhombic? A, B, C, and alpha, beta, gamma. Can you remember that? Can you check it? A is equal to B is equal to C, but alpha is not equal to beta. I think so. Can you check? You can check your notebooks. What is the lattice parameter in orthorhombic? See, in BCC, FCC, lattice parameters are same always. A is equal to B is equal to C, and alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma is equal to 90 degrees. But orthorhombic something different is there. Just have a look. Orthorhombic, so it is brittle. Fine. Now I will write the different invariant reactions.
Divide simple.
What are the invariant reactions?
Seven pieces.
So,
Why do so much?
clearly this diagram is showing you three invariant reactions here. Yes or no? Three. How? Because I have three horizontal lines. Just by looking at the phase diagram, if you have horizontal lines, that will clearly show that some invariant reaction is going on. Right? So first one is this one. So I start from the top to the bottom. Right? So first one is called periodic reaction. Is okay? So in this part also many people get confused because in the interview definitely they will ask to draw the iron carbon phase diagram, then they will ask to write the invariant reactions. In that part people make mistake. And because you should not write only the reactions, you have to write the composition also and temperature. Temperature is already I have written. How much periodic reaction will happen at what temperature? In the right part I have written. 1495, 1496. Different textbook have different values, but okay. Anyway, so this is suppose 1496. This temperature is, and you have to check where the reaction is happening. The reaction is happening. This is the horizontal line. So this point, this center point, right? So just have a look. Above this what is present, and below this what is present. Above this what is present. Liquid plus delta. So what I should have? And what I am cooling? I am cooling now. Okay. Then what will form? Now this is a simple way. Otherwise people mug it up and they forget at the end. Right? So this is the horizontal line and this is the point. Above this you have liquid plus delta. So I have written liquid plus delta. And I am cooling it. So I have written cool. So liquid plus delta when cool, it will become down. Okay? You see? So now next point is I have to write the temperature is already fixed. That means peritectic reaction will always occur at 1496 degree. That is fixed temperature. So similarly composition should be fixed. Then only F will equal to 0. You remember? Right? Degree of freedom in the previous lecture I told you. So this will be how much? How to find out the composition? This is liquid. Just like this is the liquid phase. And this end is here. How much?
0.1.
Very good. 0.1. Now delta is here. So this is the point. 0.1. Very good. Then gamma. Gamma is how much? Gamma is how much?
2.1.
This point. This one. 0.2. Gamma is forming from this point. That's why. Because this is delta, this is liquid, and this is gamma. So similarly, next reaction is called already we discussed about this one. Anybody remember? Eutectic reaction. And you remember in the eutectic reaction what happens? Just check. A liquid become two solids, right? Just have a look where liquid is becoming two solids. Just check it. It is easily seen on the picture.
Gamma plus F8.
This is the horizontal line I have now. This above this is liquid, and below this two solids are present. And this point is for eutectic point, and the corresponding composition for eutectic composition. What is that? 4.3. इसका मतलब ये है कि if you add 4.38% of carbon in iron, it will show you minimum melting point. You got the answer? उससे ज़्यादा ऐड करोगे कार्बन, उससे कम ऐड करोगे तो क्या होगा? मेल्टिंग पॉइंट फिर से इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. But 4.3% कार्बन में मिनिमम मेल्टिंग पॉइंट मिल गया. इसलिए चेक करो ना यहाँ देखो. Liquidous line is going down. Here also liquidous line is going down. And meeting at the time. Right? क्योंकि इसके अलावा सारा लिक्विड है. बट अगर मैं ये कंपोजिशन चूज करूंगा इसमें मिक्सचर होगा या फिर सॉलिड होगा. Anyway, so eutectic reaction is how liquid become and cool again, no? Cool. Liquid will cool into two solids, gamma, Fe3. Done. So liquid will decompose into gamma plus Fe3 upon cooling. This is liquid, this is solid, this is solid. This is liquid, this is solid, this is also solid. Some people write C instead of S for solid, some people write C also. Anyway, so now the composition is very easy. Liquid composition is how much? 4.3. Yes or no? 4.3. Now gamma, just tell you gamma is here. This is the gamma reason. 2.1. And Fe3 is always fixed. You cannot change 6.67. Because this is the end of the Fe3. Right? So liquid composition is this one, this composition is gamma, this composition of Fe3. Then the last one is eutectoid. Eutectoid reaction. Can you check where the reaction is happening? The last horizontal line? Yes. At 723 or 727. You can write any of the temperature, no problem. So, what is the reaction? Just have a look. Where the reaction is happening. Like this reaction is happening at this point, this reaction is happening at this point. So, at a particular point, the reaction is happening. Where?
0.76.
This one.
0.
So, here gamma is there, below this alpha and Fe3 is present. So, this is we have been clean. So, gamma will decompose into alpha and Fe3 upon cooling. Right? So, at what point this? So, gamma upon cooling will decompose into alpha plus Fe3. What is the composition? It is already given. Gamma is this much or this much? 0.76. And alpha is this one, this side is alpha. So, this is the point. How much? 0.05. And cementite is going and touching. This is a very simple way to remember, right? Done. That means eutectoid reaction is that reaction where a solid is becoming two solids. Yes or no? Right? A solid is this is solid. This is solid. Done. Now please find out the F for three reactions. Let me see. Find out the degree of freedom. What is the other name of degree of freedom? Invariant variables. Right, invariant thermodynamic variables. Which formula you have to use? F is equal to C minus P plus 1. Why 1? Because temperature pressure is fixed. 1 atmospheric pressure. Only variable is the temperature. Right? So F is equal to C minus P plus 1 you have to use. Let me see. C is the number of components, P is the number of phases. And 1 represents your temperature only. Right? The answer is simple. For everyone, F is equal to 0. Because you can check, in all the reaction we have 3 phases. P is equal to 3. Yes or no? And component is already fixed 2. Iron is 1 component, carbon is 1 component. So 2 components, C is 2, P is 3. And plus 1 is there. So you get F is equal to 0 for every reaction. That's why these are invariant reactions. Many people ask you, write invariant reaction and tell how you can say this is invariant. Then you have to explain. Because temperature is not changing, composition is also fixed. And I am getting F is equal to 0. You have to show how. And don't write F is equal to C minus P plus 2. Otherwise you will be in touch. It is okay? You got all of you got F is equal to 0 for 3 reactions. Last part, I will take 2 minutes more. I will tell you about the nature. Obviously, because I am talking about phase diagram, means each phase has a particular nature, and that will decide the property of the alloy, this iron carbon alloy. So you should write quickly. Alpha is a soft phase. Alpha is soft and ductile, that means ductile. Alpha is a soft phase, or you can write ductile. That means if your steel is having more amount of alpha, so you can deform the steel to a large extent. You can make it thinner and thinner and thin. By applying load, you can make it thin. You can make very thin coils or like that, right? Sheets or wires. Huh? Next one is gamma. Gamma is also a soft phase. It is also ductile. And delta, I am not sure about that, but still, I think it will be a ductile phase. I am not sure, you can check it. And now I will talk about perlite. So, what will be the nature of perlite? Can you tell me? Already I have told you Fe3C is a brittle. It is having two different phases. One nature is ductile, one nature is brittle. It will be tougher. It will be tough. Because one is soft, one is brittle. And you can also say, it depends upon also the amount of, how much amount of cementite is present, how much amount of alpha is present. If more alpha, it will be moving towards somewhat ductile. But if it is moving towards more Fe3C, become more brittle. So better to try tough. It is a tough phase. If you want more toughness in the steel, you try to make more amount of perlite. You understand my point? And obviously, if you have only Fe3C everywhere, it is completely brittle phase. It will break. And ladybird, I am not sure because gamma again is soft and Fe3 is also hard. So it may be a tough phase. Liver, yeah, by using liver, you can calculate how much alpha is present, how much Fe. Can do that. Okay, fine. So that means iron and carbon forms two alloys. One is called So if somebody will ask what is a cast iron, never say it is a pure iron. It is not a iron. It is an alloy of iron and carbon. Yeah, iron का नाम से है, but it is an alloy, right? Steel is also an alloy of iron and carbon, right? This is below 2. Some people call it below 2.1, and this is above 2. This is 20%, always. Fine. The thing is what? If you increase the amount of carbon above 2.1 or 2, it becomes cast iron, right? But if you keep the amount of carbon below 2.1 or 2 in the iron, it becomes a steel. So people ask what is the difference between steel and cast iron? We can say on the basis of composition of carbon, we can decide. So which one will be brittle and which one will be ductile? Steels are ductiles compared to the cast iron. Because carbon amount is increasing, more amount of cementite will be present. Because right side diagram is cementite basically, right? Left side part is alpha, which is a soft. So obviously steel will be softer than cast iron. And that is one of the other reason is you cannot make sheets out of cast iron. You understand my point? If you try to apply some pressure to make it thinner, it will break into pieces because of more Fe3C. Right? So somebody will ask, suppose I want to make a component out of cast iron. So how to do that? So in industry we make this much of thickness of steels. Then we deform it to make these plates or coils, very thin plates, coils, bars like this. Initially ये thickness का नहीं होता है. This much of thickness will be there. Right? So if you want to make this kind of component, for example, let it be. How to make it? Just by solidification. You make a mold, you pour it. And upon solidification, it will take the shape of the mold. Done. But you cannot deform a cast iron. It will break into pieces. But steel, you can deform it by applying load and you can make any shape out of it. That is the other difference, right? You understand my point? So in other way, I can say we can make a component of cast iron by pouring it into the molds. That is called casting. You can cast it. That's why the name is also called cast iron. Because it has high castability. You can write cast iron has high castability. Castability means ability to cast easily. Cast iron has high castability. Castability means ability to cast it easily. It can be easily cast. And you also write it cannot plastically deform. Cast iron cannot be plastically deformed. To give a shape. Cast iron cannot be plastically deformed to give a shape. Only shape can be given by doing melting and casting. Melting and casting. By pouring it into the molds. You take desirable mold, you pour it. It will take the shape of the mold at the end. As you have attended the workshop, right? Have you ever seen those anvil and those bottom part of the machines? All are made up of cast iron, basically. They are very hard and brittle. Very hard. And bottom part of the machines are made up of cast iron because of one important property. It can absorb the vibration. Because machine है ना, machine will vibrate. So vibration will get absorbed by this cast iron. That is the property. You can write. Cast iron has the property of to absorb vibrations. Now I'll ask a technical question, right? If you measure the compressive strength of cast iron and compressive strength of the steel, which one will be you are expecting higher?
Cast iron.
Very good. Why? Because it is brittle. Brittle phase होगा तो उसको compressive load दोगे तो टूटेगा नहीं. But उसको अगर खींचोगे, you apply a tensile load, it will break into pieces. So in another way I can say steels basically have high tensile strength, but cast iron have high compressive strength. In this way also you can compare it. जहाँ पे तुम्हारा लोड क्या है, जैसी मशीन है, मशीन का वेट सारा संभाल रहा है कास्ट आयरन, राइट? सो अर्थ से एक लोड आ रहा है और मशीन से एक लोड आ रहा है, सो इट इज अ कंप्रेसिव नेचर, राइट? लाइक दिस. एक लोड मशीन का है, एक लोड तुम्हारा अर्थ से आएगा, ऑब्वियस बात है, इज द कंप्रेसिव लोड, सो कास्ट आयरन कैन हैंडल, नो प्रॉब्लम, इट विल नॉट ब्रेक. बट अगर गलती से कास्ट आयरन को तुम खींचोगे, दिस इज टेंसाइल, वन एंड यू आर पुलिंग, दिस एंड आल्सो यू आर पुलिंग, it will break. But steel will not break easily. So steel have high tensile strength, but cast iron have. But again it depends upon the composition. ऐसा नहीं कि तुम एक स्टील बनाओ फेराइट है उसमें और बोलोगे उसमें हाई टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ है. No, it is ductile. It will break after some time. It may elongate, but it will break. Anyways, so these are the natures. Fine. Okay, I'll continue this one in the next class. You have